build a balustrade handrail system for this porch. And the balustrade goes between the post and from the post to the house. Now, nothing says amateurish more with such a balustrade than to have an odd space at the end of the run. So what we want to do is end up with exactly the same space between the post and the first baluster and between every baluster. So the maximum allowable space according to code is 4 inches between any kind of 4-inch opening. So we're gonna use dividers, and so we're gonna start with the maximum space of 4 inches plus the diameter of the balusters that we're using. We're using 3/4 inch round aluminum balusters, and we're going to drill holes in the handrail and the rail at the bottom to hold those. So we're going to start with a 4 3/4 inch spacing on the dividers. Now we don't have one. The first thing you need to do is draw a pencil line down the length of where you're going to drill the holes under the handrail and on top of the bottom rail. So draw a pencil line down the middle. I use a combination square and pencil. Now we have post on the ends, but it could be a newel post or anything else, but we want to start with the same space on the end. So we need a starting point that's the center point of the balusters. In this case, they're 3/4 inch diameter, so we're going to start with a line drawn on just a scrap of wood that's 3/8 of an inch from the end, from the edge. That's going to be our starting point. So we start with the dividers right there. Now to start with, we're just going to step it off and see how it works out. This eliminates any math and having to mark and accumulate error and such. And these dividers are nothing special. They're just cheap generals that I've had for 40 years or more. Now stay off of your pencil line to start with, because when we get the spacing right, we're going to punch little holes on that line with the dividers, and that'll be where you drill the holes. And so using the same piece of wood, our ideal ending point is on that line on the end. Now you see we're about an inch too long there. So I'm just going to guess at it and take a half a turn on the dividers. And we'll try it again. So starting on the middle of the imaginary baluster on the end. And if you skip a step, if the dividers move on you, you have to go back and start again. No big deal. And that was too much. The half a turn was too much, so I'll back off a 1/4 turn. It's all guesswork at this point. You can sit down and measure the difference and figure it out, but I just soon do it this way. And it ended up exactly right. So we're good to go now. So this time we're going to mark on that pencil line that I made, and this is where we're going to drill our holes. So we start in the middle of our emergency imaginary baluster again, and then we use the dividers to punch a hole there, punch a hole there. Now some people will use a stop block on the fence on a drill press to drill these, but I just eyeball the little pilot point on a forcing bit and just hit the middle of these holes. Now when you get to a point like this, where that there's a knot right there, so it's going to be kind of hard to see that, I'll just scribe a line across it with the dividers. And you might say just eyeballing the pilot point of the drill on these holes is not close enough, but if you're 1/100 of an inch off, it's not going to show. So there's a last hole. Now it's a good idea in case you got an extra point somewhere, just put a little tail on these with your pencil so you can find it. And if you get to one that's hard to see, you haven't moved the divider, so you can go from point to point and find the one that was hard to see. These are probably not showing up in the movie as clearly as I can see them right here. That was the one where that knot is. And that's pretty much all there is to it as far as layout goes. And we'll end up with exactly the right space. And I don't know exactly what the opening is, but it doesn't really matter. They're all the same, and there's as close as I can get to the 4-inch maximum, and all be the same. Okay. Peace.